Om Shanti. Imbibe the virtues of sweetness and humility to become great. Love for every soul. Some things are softened by heating them, and then they can be molded. Here too, heat is a form of power, and softness is humility. That is love. Those who have love for every soul will be able to have humility. When there is no love, you won't be able to remain merciful or humble. In being an embodiment of power, you are a master, and in humility, there is the virtue of serving. When there is the heat and the softness, you will then be able to mold yourself to every situation. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vikti Parivar. Today is day 26. Imbibe the virtues of sweetness and humility to become great. Today's topic, love for every soul. Pass with honor. Waste thought. Questioning Baba's love. Spiritual power to finish waste thought. Power of experience. Baba's magic mantra. Sweet, sweet child, Bab Dada gives everyone love and remembrance from the depth of his heart. The love from the depth of his heart is the same for each and every one. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. Every virtue has many powers. One virtue can have many powers. So Baba is talking about virtue of love. Love is the power where all the time elevated actions, elevated relationships can be created. Because we like the relationships where there can be joy, happiness, sharing, and we want to be together in that relationship. So if you have love for everyone, not only you are able to do only elevated actions, but one of the best way to settle all karmic accounts. Because when there are bondages in relationship, karmic accounts, then there is sorrow, there is disappointment, there is attachment. So all these are bondages of karmas from the past. So double power, right, of creating and settling is in love. I was, few moments reflecting on why Baba keeps saying love is important. And then I thought it's true because when you have soul conscious love, then how will you talk to someone? How will you interact with someone in love, right? But also, uh, when there are settling different nature, different words, conflict of ideas, and many, many things happen. But I stay loving. And then, of course, Baba had been talking a lot about that in a spiritual life, you need to be detached and loving. Because if there is only love and you're not detached, I experience so much love, but I have to stay detached because you can very easily emotionally get attached, but then you're not able to be stable. So, remaining detached and also lovely. So, love is great power and soul conscious love. That's what we are practicing now. Because sometimes, like you wonder when Baba says, love is most important. But then, if we see the benefits, if we see how strong we feel, but also how we have to balance that love also with being detached observer. Because when you are detached observer, you are able to give power, support, sympathy, help. But if you are not detached observer, then your power doesn't work. So definitely love is a great power. And when my attention has gone, we all will practice to be in soul conscious love and experience that how we can be stable, a likeness in relationships, and of course, all that also will create my own relationship with Baba. That's what Baba is saying, that have all relationships with me. So love is the big power. Baba is explaining that some things are softened by what happens, heating them, and they can be then molded. If you want something to be softened, it is heated and then it becomes soft and you can mold it. So Baba is saying that here also, Baba said heat is the form of power. Heat is some of the power, and softness is humility. So it's not humility that you are subservient or you don't have your self respect. Baba is saying that what happens is heat is a form of power. So then you soften, and softness is your humility. So Baba said that is love, humility, and that is love. Those Baba says have love for every soul will also have humility. When you will have love for everyone, there will be humility. So today Baba is telling us that how love, what are the benefits? It has power and it softens you, molds you. So Baba says that when, it's very interesting because every time Baba says something, I always feel that we need really churning on that aspect. Why Baba is using these words of softening and molding. So Baba says when there is no love, you won't be able to remain merciful or humble. Because if Baba says you cannot love anyone because of whatever reason, but you can have mercy. So it's a combination of love and mercy. So Baba says that in being an embodiment of love, being an embodiment of love, you are, Baba says, master and Baba says is also humility, authority, humility, master. So Baba says there is it's a kind of balance of two powers, the virtue of serving. So Baba says when there is the heat and the softness, you will then be able to mold yourself to every situation. Really, people have capacity. I know that, don't remember exactly how, but one of these quality of expanding and squeezing is in the frog. I think you all know that how frog can be very small, and when it spreads itself, it can be very, very big. So a situation and able to mold in that situation. And there are certain times you do not have that much facility physically, and you don't want your body to be hurt. So you make your stage such that it's okay. You have been able to mold yourself. If it's expansion, if it's squeezing, whatever is needed, it could be mentally, it could be emotionally, it could be physically. Mm. Power to mold is like power to adjust with places, with situations, with people. Mm. One should be able to mold, and then you become real gold. So, love also is a big power, is a good power, and we must use it, as I said, for creating elevated karmas and relationship, and also settling whatever is from the past, so that there can be love works in a beautiful way. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti
Om
Didi.
Shanti
Good
Didi.
evening.
Hello. Hello. Om Shanti.
How are you doing? How's your jet lag?
It's okay. Doing well.
I'm always shocked by how tireless you are. Come the same day, sit with us. Thank you. Thank you for your presence that way.
Mm.
Um, One of the things I was trying to understand today's um, object signal, and you were explaining, and I understood a little bit, but I didn't understand some aspects. One was this whole idea of heat. So, softness is the love. And what is the heat?
Power of love, no?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's power of love which kind of, melts you. And then, you soften, and then you are, Baba says, become very humble, or power to mold is there.
All
You
right.
have any other thought?
No, no, I was actually thinking about what Baba was saying about if you have love for everyone, that means you have humility. And I wanted you to talk a little bit more about that. And Baba was saying that, the sign of your humility is that you have love for everyone.
Yeah, but see, I think when Baba had been saying, Lord, that there is, when you have soul consciousness, when you think all are souls, there will be natural love. Because when you are seeing anyone in different part, different actors with different sanskars, right? All that when we watch, and we're not in soul consciousness, we are more in body conscious, looking at people in a physical way, then you cannot have love. But if you
Mm.
look at in a soul conscious way, then you are able to see the good qualities in nature, in doing, in efficiency. In soul consciousness, observing and being with others creates a lot of love. I find that with everyone there is love. And when there is love, then good relationship, then we are happy, then everything we do is really done in a very easy way. So
Right, right.
love, but soul conscious love is very, very important. It softens you, but also it creates that authority and balance of humility. So everything really, I think what we have to do, experiment whole day as our homework on what is the power of love. How does
Mm-hmm.
this virtue of love, as I just really had this reflection of that how when there is uh, this power of love, we are able to create and settle both relationships. So I thought I will really want to experiment that by keeping the quality or the stage of just pure love, spiritual love with everyone.
Mm-hmm. One of the things when you were talking about earlier today about the power of love and what other power is there in love, and Baba in a few days ago was talking about a blessing on tolerance, and he was connecting tolerance and contentment. Do you feel, Didi? Because I was thinking that tolerance is also a very big aspect of love. That if I have the power of tolerance, then I have love. What are
Or
your
when
thoughts?
you have love, you are able to tolerate, right?
Right.
When
Oh,
you
it
have
goes the other
love.
way around. Love,
No,
then
it could
tolerance.
no, it could be both. Tolerance will bring love, but like you tolerate it, but love will bring natural tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like anyone says anything, when you love that person, you don't mind it, right? But if someone says a word which is not pleasant, then so I think that see virtues work both ways, in the sense of just have this thought. Love will bring tolerance, definitely. You tolerate the person you love. Many things we just tolerate because we have love for that person. For some we can tolerate. Same things other person will do, you can't tolerate because you don't
Right,
have love.
right,
You don't have love for that person.
right.
So I think love is quite a big power, which
Mm-hmm.
brings tolerance also. I think all the qualities work when there is quality of love. That is why this is power of love. And I think we should experiment at least 24 hours. Baba has given us as homework and see how does it really work. I find the best way to believe, to understand, or to inculcate is when we churn, experiment that I will be in that stage of love whole day and see how things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Um,
tomorrow is a good day being Sunday. We
right,
are,
right,
we are
absolutely.
with more souls. Right?
Right, right. One of the things that Baba said that day in Blessing was he was saying that the power of tolerance brings contentment. And I wanted to ask you everything you know about tolerance. Tell us about it. Because Baba says the biggest virtue is contentment. And then he says, tolerance will give you contentment. So I wanted to know what you know about tolerance.
Mm. I think that basically, uh, when there is love or there is tolerance, then you don't compare. You don't like discontent comes from lack of attainments, right? But if there are attainments all the time, then nothing is like I don't compare, I don't compete, I have attainments. Those who believe in their fortune, they don't compare it with others, they don't feel challenged. So all these are different kinds of uh, that we tolerate different situations in a natural way. but we can reflect more on that. It's a good point, though.
One of the things I was thinking, Didi, since Baba spoke about tolerance and contentment, um, if someone is repeatedly doing something, it's harder. It somehow seems harder. How do you tolerate someone who's repeatedly, like pointedly talking and making statements about you? And how do you, what do you do? What is your yukti inside? I'm sure no one's doing that to you, but anyway, tell us.
Mm. Yeah, what we do. Mm. I think that I would use more soul consciousness. I will use more good wishes. Some of these mental powers for that soul, so that that soul can experience something different and transformation happens. So instead of just through words and trying to advise or say, use your mansa seva there. And then you see the change in that soul definitely will happen. There are many situations. Recently, one situation happened, and but what happened that, let's say, if there is tension for you or something, and I also got tense, then other one gets tense. No atmosphere. But if I just say that, no, I will not take that, and you remain very calm and peaceful, definitely not only person will change, but the atmosphere will be such that everyone will feel that atmosphere. So I think it's really uh, the practice of whether a virtue or power, and you see the attainments, you see the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get tired or fed up with anyone. Means
Mm-hmm.
I can't deal with this person now. People like, they say that in New York, to get the date for marriage is immediate. Date for divorce takes 6 months. Because as soon as they marry, we can't adjust, let's divorce. So it's faster now. Everywhere is like that. So same is like relationship. Never give up on relationship. Always have love and care and mercy. I think then things work out, and that's the tolerance, right?
Right, right, right. How do I know I'm not suppressing? That I'm
Mhm.
actually genuinely, tolerating, having love for Baba and tolerating and not suppressing. How do I know that?
When you are suppressed, then there are sadness. Somewhere you're not happy. And then we ask person, but what's in your heart? What you are holding in your mind that you are not happy? So sadness is very much connected. So we have to see, am I happy? I am light. And then I know that yes, I am in that stage. Otherwise, we won't know. So basically, it is happiness, lightness, which is the result.
Right, right. That makes sense. Absolutely. That I have to feel happy doing whatever I'm doing. Then it's an elevated power. If I'm feeling sad, then it's not. Right.
Mhm.
Um, so
Suppression
based,
won't allow you, suppression will not allow you to be expressing your heart or be
Mhm.
open and, you know, be very light. Suppression definitely will block your some energy. Right?
Right. So, Didi, one of the things I've been thinking about, and even based on today's blessing, Baba was talking about bondages and this and that. And so many of these are very subtle bondages. How do I know if I'm going through the day? How do I know I'm in like a certain, any kind of bondage?
Wasteful thoughts, no? Because when thoughts are really very not useful, not powerful, that means somewhere that sanskar is emerging, old sanskar is emerging. And then I have to pay attention there that no, Baba said every thought should be elevated, every thought should be powerful. If you have weak thoughts will create all. Then Maya comes, then you feel defeated. All this cycle begins.
Mm-hmm. Um, this is a more practical question, and then I want to come back to sweetness. This is a more practical question. So let's say we are in company and people are talking,
Mhm.
not yarn things. How do you manage, Didi? How do you keep your stage and all of that?
Mm. I remember once we were in Peace Park. All dadis were there, Dadi Janki, Dadi Prakashmani, and we all were sitting on the ground waiting for our Brahma Bhojan. And some souls were kind of criticizing other souls. And I was looking at Prakashmani Dadi as she's not hearing all that. You know, I was so surprised that everyone, four were talking about this soul is like this or something like that. And Dadi Prakashmani as if she's not hearing anything. And I really, that stayed with me. And I said, not to get involved mentally or verbally, because that's not right conversation. And that's what Baba also says. Sometimes we sit and we say yes, yes, yes. We don't realize what we are saying yes to. Like somebody says, she's like that. Oh, yes, I think she's like that. So don't participate mentally or verbally in such conversations. We have to be very careful. Otherwise, they will say, oh, Sister Mohini also acknowledged it's true, right?
Right.
You have to be
Right.
very careful, yeah. Mm. But for
More
your
than criticism, Didi, more
no
than
fun,
criticism.
one is to have self protection, another is, just I don't want to be part of all that conversation. Yeah, what else?
More than criticism, it's just like mundane conversation.
Yeah.
I feel so done with it. Like people are just going, and I'm like, where can I go with this? It's like so mundane. It's not like they're criticizing, it's just a very mundane conversation.
Like about food?
Food,
Oh.
the body, their family, their.
Mm. I think that keep aim that especially at center to have more alokhic conversation, more spiritual conversation than on a physical level. I think if we create that kind of or give directions that we have to maintain the atmosphere of center and it should be spiritual, and so our conversation should be more spiritual, how to progress or how to help the center and how to create that atmosphere. So I think we can talk about that in the class so people are more aware. I always tell people there is whole world outside. You can talk what you want, but not at Baba's home. Because the atmosphere becomes different. So we can
Right.
always share those ideas.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Because
Without hurting anyone. I
yeah,
have to say it without hurting
yeah,
anyone.
yeah, you just generally, one of the principle of the yagya is what we do, what we speak, and what we don't. So it's not anything personal, but it's general principles to create the atmosphere which is healthy for souls who come to experience Baba's love or to have the churning of knowledge. So I think that could help, for changing them. Even if they start, maybe they won't continue for a long time, right?
Right, right. So now back to sweetness, Didi. So we've had almost a month of sweetness. What are your realizations?
Yeah, because some or other something which is giving whether it's a comfort, whether it's feeling, whether it's love. Because Baba calls us bestowers, And if we are bestowers, then we have to be humble and sweet. Sweetness is something which I see souls, when they receive it, so many changes happen in that soul because they have never experienced maybe in their life, whether sometimes it's love, sometimes sympathy. Some don't know what is sympathy because they never experience sympathy in life. So I feel that sweetness is something which really touches the hearts and help the souls to feel receiving something or something good will emerge in them. Sweetness is really like nice and gentle, polite and civilized, not aggressive way. Some have very aggressive way. And so when they feel that, then they become aggressive, which is not good. At Baba's home, like Brahma Baba, he was always gentle, always sweet. He said everything, explained everything, but in a sweet way. And because of that, it was not hurting.
Mm. Right, right.
So be humble and sweet.
Humble and sweet and love for everyone.
Right. We have to underline that.
Right, right. Soul conscious love. You kept saying that today. Soul conscious love. It's a different kind of love, soul conscious love. And I also liked what you shared when you were sharing about being a detached observer. In soul conscious love, just watch as a detached observer.
It's necessary, especially when you have love and you receive love all the time. You have to be detached.
Mhm. Thank you, Didi.
Right. Okay, Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Mm.
Om Shanti. Thank you. And so tomorrow is Sunday, and our schedule from Amritvila, 3:30 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. 6 o'clock meditation will start, followed by Hindi Sakar Murli, followed by Bhog offering, then English Avek Murli. In the evening, 6 o'clock bhakti will start, followed by Spotlight Drishti sharing, followed by Hindi series, English series, and chit chat. Now let's remember Baba and take Drishti from Didi.
स्नेह सागर तेरे स्नेह में हम नैनों को अपने भिगोए हुए सांसों की तारों में ओ बाबा तेरी यादों के मोती पिरोए हुए ओ स्नेह सागर के इस समंदर में हम तो जैसे कि मन को डुबोए हुए हैं, ओ स्नेह सागर। उठाकर धरा से जो धूल कण को मस्तक से अपने ऐसे लगाया, चमकने लगे हम सितारे से बनकर, अपने गुणों से इतना सजाया, अपने गुणों से इतना सजाया। बलिहार होके तेरे हार में हम हीरों के जैसे संजोए हुए हैं, ओ स्नेह सागर।
शांति, ओम शांति।